Okay, good morning children. Very good morning. Second year biology, botany English medium. Sixth unit already started. In the sixth unit, 13th chapter, already we started. Strategies for enhancement in food production. What are the methods we have to follow for increasing of food production? Already yesterday class we discussed. Our country population is increasing day by day. But food production is not meet the increased population. So we have to follow some new techniques, new methods, then you have to improve the food production. But what are the new methods? Yesterday we discussed especially plant breeding method. One is plant breeding method. One is plant breeding and second one is mutation breeding. Second one is mutation breeding. Third one, plant tissue culture. Plant tissue culture. And fourth one, we discussed about recombinant DNA technology. So these are some new techniques. With the help of these new techniques, we have to enhancement our food production. Okay. So yesterday especially we discussed detailed information about plant breeding. About plant breeding completely we discussed in yesterday class. Okay. But what are the steps are there in plant breeding? 5 steps which are there in plant breeding. How the plant breeding is useful for green revolution. Already you know the green revolution is based on plant breeding techniques. With the help of plant breeding techniques we can produce the crops which are disease resistant, which gives high yielding which are disease resistance. So high yielding crops, disease resistance crops we can produce by using these plant breeding technique, plant breeding steps we discussed in yesterday class. And today class we have discussed how the plant breeding is useful in disease resistance. Okay, today's topic, plant breeding for disease resistance. How the plant breeding is helpful for disease resistance. The plants which are produced through plant breeding, they are disease resistant. So they develop resistance power towards the diseases. So that is called disease resistance. So in today's class we have discussed what are the uses of plant breeding. How the plant breeding is useful for disease resistance. Okay, so today's topic, plant breeding for disease resistance. 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 Okay. How plant breeding is useful for disease resistance? Already you know that. So the crop, the cultivated crop, the yield crop is damaged with a different type of the fungi, bacteria and different virus. Different type of the viruses, bacteria, fungi attacks the crop grains. So every year we have to last 20 to 30% of the crop grains. Sometimes we may last total crop grains. So what is the solution for that? So with the help of plant breeding, we have to produce the crops which are disease resistant. The plants which are produced through the plant breeding technique, the plants are disease resistant. So we should not use any chemical fertilizer. You should not use any bactericides, fungicides. So you should not use anything. Okay. So then the food production will increase. Okay. That is the plant breeding for disease resistance. With the help of plant breeding, we have to produce the crops. We have to produce the plants which are disease resistant. So you should not use any chemicals. You should not use any fungicides. You should not use any bacterial sites like that. So that is the importance of the plant breeding for disease resistance. But here, but what are the methods of plant breeding for disease resistance? Generally here two methods are there. So generally the plant breeding is carried out through the two methods. One is traditional breeding practices. One is traditional breeding methods. One is traditional breeding technique. Okay. Another one is mutation breeding. Mutation breeding. Traditional breeding and mutation breeding. So about the traditional breeding, we discussed yesterday class. The traditional breeding includes hybridization and selection. Hybridization and selection. Hybridization and selection. So methods of breeding for disease resistance, the methods are mainly two types. One is the traditional breeding method, second one is mutation breeding method. Traditional breeding method is nothing but hybridization and selection. Then we have to discuss about the mutation breeding with detailedly. Okay, a separate topic is there about mutation breeding. So here, but what is the traditional breeding? Especially hybridization and selection. The crop varieties which are produced through through hybridization and selection, they are disease resistant. The plants which we are produced through hybridization and selection, they are having the disease resistance capacity. Here some examples here they given. Some of the plants, some of the plant varieties, some of the crop varieties which are bred through hybridization and selection, they have disease resistance towards the fungi, towards the virus and towards the bacteria. Some examples here they given. Some of the crop varieties. What is the crop? What is the variety of the crop? But what is the disease resistance? So for that one, some examples here they given. We will discuss the examples. So with the help of hybridization and with the help of selection, what are the crops we are producing? The crops are disease resistant. So with the help of these two methods, we have to produce the crops which are disease resistant. Okay. Sorry, what is the crop? What is the variety of the crop? But what is the disease resistance? For that one table is given. So first, name of the crop plant. What is the name of the crop? What is the variety of the crop we are cultivating? And what is the disease resistance? Or what is the disease resistance? The developed resistance to which disease? Disease resistance. Disease resistance. Okay. You can see for what is the name of the crop, what is the crop variety, or what is the disease resistance. You can see further one table is there. So if you see the name of the crop wheat, if you take the wheat crop, in wheat crop one crop variety we are for example here one variety given, Himagiri variety. Suppose if you take wheat crop, in wheat crop we are cultivating one type of variety, one variety of the crop, that is Himagiri variety. So what is the disease resistance power to that particular crop, or what is the disease resistance? So the developed disease resistance power towards the particular disease, the disease name leaf rust disease. Leaf rust disease. Leaf rust. Okay. So the crops, especially the wheat crop which is cultivated through the hybridization and selection, they have disease resistant to particular disease. Leaf rust disease. They develop resistance power towards the disease name leaf rust disease. Okay, leaf rust. Okay, leaf rust disease. Next, you can take another crop, brassica, means mustard. Brassica, mustard. Okay, brassica, mustard. Okay. You see, brassica also called mustard, and what more example are they given? Cauliflower. Okay, cauliflower. Okay, but what is the variety of the crop, or what is the disease resistance? Okay, so some examples here they given. What is the name of the crop, or what is the disease resistance here they given. In brassica, what variety they are cultivating? Pusa swarming. This is a variety, brassica variety. Okay, and what is the disease resistance? They develop the disease resistance towards the white rust. White rust is the disease. So they developed resistance powers towards the disease. White rust is a disease. So they have resistance power towards this disease. So in cauliflower they are cultivating one variety, that is Pusa snowball variety. Pusa snowball variety. So by cultivating this variety, they are having resistance power towards the particular disease. The disease name is black rot disease. Black rot disease. So like this. So these are the crops which are cultivated through hybridization and selection. They have developed resistance power towards the particular diseases. For example, in wheat, Himagiri variety, if you cultivate the Himagiri variety of the wheat, then the crop would develop the resistance power towards the leaf rust disease. In brassica, if you cultivate the variety Pusa swarming, they can develop a resistance power towards the disease named white rust disease. Next, cauliflower, the variety of the cauliflower is Pusa snowball variety. If you cultivate that variety of the cauliflower, then they developed a resistance power towards the particular disease. The disease named black rot disease. Okay, so this is about the plant breeding for disease resistance plants. With the help of plant breeding, we are able to produce the resistance power towards the disease. So these plants which are produced through plant breeding technique, they are having resistance power towards the diseases. So this is the disease resistance for producing the plants through plant breeding technique. Okay. So next, so this is one of the heading, plant breeding for disease resistance. Okay. Next, plant breeding. How the plant breeding is useful? Plant breeding for developing resistance to insect and pest. Through the plant breeding, the plants able to develop resistance power towards the insect and pest. So many insects will attack the plants. So many pests, virus, fungi, bacteria that can attack the crops. So there should be necessary the crops which are produced through plant breeding technique. They are having resistance towards the insect and pest. So next heading is plant breeding for developing resistance to insect and pest. Okay, so through plant breeding, what are the crops we are producing? The crops having resistance towards the insect and pest. Okay, through the plant breeding, what are the crops we are cultivated through the plant breeding? They having they develop resistance power towards the insect and pest. Otherwise, crop production will decrease. So many insects, so many pests will attack the crops. So you have to cultivate the crops through the plant breeding technique. Then automatically they can develop the resistance power towards the insect and pest. Okay. So what are the crops? What are the crop varieties which are bred through hybridization and selection? They developed the resistance power towards the insect and pest. Or what are the examples? Or what is the crop name? Or what is the crop? Or what is the crop variety? Or what is the pest we have to remove? What type of the pest we have to control? Okay, first name of the crop now. Okay, name of the crop. If you see the name of the crop and what is the variety of the crop, but what type of the pest we have to control by using the plant breeding technique. Okay, here also some examples there, Nani. Okay, na? Name of the crop, variety of the crop, and what type of the pest we have to control for that. Next, first example, mustard, brassica. Next, beans and lady's finger. If you see these crops, but what is the crop variety? In brassica, one variety is growing, that is Pusa Gaurav variety. This is one type of variety now. Pusa Gaurav variety. Pusa Gaurav variety is cultivating in brassica. Brassica means mustard, avar. Okay. Okay. In brassica crop, commonly cultivating variety is Pusa Gaurav variety. But what is the pest we have to control? Aphids. Aphids means small insects which can suck the leafy juices. చెట్ల యొక్క రసాన్ని మొత్తాన్ని ఆకుల యొక్క రసాన్ని మొత్తాన్ని పీల్చుకుంటాయి. Aphids. Okay. Aphids. So we can control the aphids. Okay. The crops which are cultivated through the plant breeding technique, they are having resistance power towards the pest. So this pest disease, this pest we have to control automatically. The crops which are cultivated through the plant breeding, especially the brassica, mustard, the variety Pusa Gaurav which you are cultivating, then there is no aphids will attack. Next, beans. Beans variety Pusa set A, set 2 and set 3 variety. Pusa set 2, set 3 variety. Okay. Parindro commonly okay. Common disease is aphids we have to attack. Aphids attack also we have to reduce, and fruit borer disease. Fruit borer means the insect which make holes to the fruits. Fruit borer disease. Some insects make holes to the fruits, so that is fruit borer insect. Next, aphids. These are two pests we have to control the crops which are cultivated through plant breeding. Next, lady's finger, one of the variety, that is Pusa A4 variety. Okay. So we have to control the disease, stem borer disease, stem borer in pest you have to control, and fruit borer also. Stem borer and fruit borer. Okay, so these are the pest attacks we have to control. The crops which are cultivated through plant breeding. These are some examples only. For example, in brassica, the variety Pusa Gaurav we are cultivating. Suppose there is no attack of the aphids. In beans, Pusa set A, set B variety we are cultivating. There is no attack of the aphids and fruit borers. Next, in lady's finger, Pusa A4 variety is cultivating. There is no attack of the stem borer insect and fruit borer insects. Okay, so this is the second importance, plant breeding for developing resistance to insect and pest. And the crops which we are cultivated through plant breeding, there is no attack of insect and pest. The plants that can develop resistance towards the insects and pest. Okay, next, third importance, Third importance of the plant breeding. Plant breeding, two importance completed. Plant breeding for disease resistance, plant breeding for development of resistance towards insect and pest. Next, plant breeding for improved food quality. Plant breeding for improved food quality. Improved food quality. Improved food quality. Plant breeding for improved food quality. How the plant breeding is useful for improvement of food content and food quality. You can see many people in the world, they do not get sufficient food requirements. So many people in the world, they do not get sufficient food requirements. They do not have their food needs for daily. How much food they need, so they do not getting proper food requirements, and also they are suffering from some particular diseases. They are suffering from micronutrient diseases. They are suffering from micronutrient deficiencies, and they are suffering from vitamin deficiencies, and they are suffering from protein deficiency. Deficiency means defect. So they are suffering, so many people, they are suffering from micronutrient deficiencies, vitamin deficiency, protein deficiency. So they are not getting proper food, and they are suffering hidden hunger. Hidden hunger. They are suffering from hidden hunger. Okay. So many people they are suffering from hidden hunger. But what is hidden hunger? Short question, very short question is there. Hidden hunger. Okay. So hidden hunger, కనిపించినటువంటి ఆకలి means తెలుగు. So many people, they are suffering from hidden hunger because they do not have, they cannot buy particular food items. They cannot buy vitamin food. They cannot buy vegetables. They cannot buy meat. They cannot buy fish. They cannot buy fruits. So they are suffering from hidden hunger, and they are suffering from micronutrient deficiencies, vitamin deficiencies, protein deficiencies. Okay. So what is the solution for that? The main aim of the plant breeding is to produce the plants with high levels of proteins, with high levels of fats, with high levels of minerals, with high levels of vitamins, to improve public health. So that concept is called biofortification. Biofortification, which is also important for short question purpose. That is biofortification. Biofortification. And what is biofortification? The aim of plant breeding is to produce the plants with the main aim of the plant breeding is to produce the plants with high levels of proteins, with high levels of fats, with high levels of vitamins, with high levels of minerals, for improving public health. The concept is called biofortification. The concept is called biofortification. So the main object of the biofortification is to provide proper food to the public for betterment, for their better health. So biofortification is possible through plant breeding only. Through plant breeding only, you have to produce the plants which are high levels of proteins, which includes high levels of fats, which includes high levels of vitamins, minerals. So that concept is called biofortification. And one more thing, Indian Agriculture Research Institute, IARI, Indian Agriculture Research Institute, New Delhi, it released New Delhi, Indian Agriculture Research Institute, New Delhi, it released what are the crops, what are the vegetables, what are the fruits which are containing vitamins and minerals. They released, so this type of the vegetables, the fruits contain particular vitamins and minerals. So according to the IARI, they released some information. What are the vegetables? What are the fruits contain vitamins and minerals? So according to the IARI, vitamin A contain food items are especially carrot, spinach and pumpkin, gummadi. These contain vitamin A. And according to the IARI, what are the food items that contain vitamin C? Vitamin C contain food items, especially vitamin C contain food items, bitter gourd. According to the IARI, they released some information. Vitamin C contain food items, especially bitter gourd, and mustard, tomato, and one more thing, one new green vegetable, bathua. Bathua means this is the king of green vegetable. Bathua means this is the king of green vegetable. This is called king of green vegetable, which contain vitamin C. And but what are the food items contain iron and calcium? Weight to iron, calcium, iron and calcium. Iron, calcium, especially contain spinach, contain iron and calcium. Spinach and bathua, these also contain iron and calcium. But proteins, what are the food items contain proteins? Especially beans, peas, garden peas agochu, sweet peas agochu, peas. Okay, beans and peas contain proteins. Iron and calcium containing food items, spinach and bathua. Vitamin C containing food items, bitter gourd, mustard, tomato, bathua. Okay, vitamin A containing food items, carrot, spinach, pumpkin. Okay, so what are the food qualities we have to improve through the plant breeding? Or what qualities we have to improve? Okay, we have to improve some qualities now. Protein quality and content. We have to improve protein quality and content. And we have to improve oil content and quality. You have to improve. And also you have to improve vitamin content. And also improve micronutrients and mineral content. Micronutrient and mineral content. You have to improve by using plant breeding technique. The plant breeding technique, we have to improve some food qualities. For what are the improvements? Protein quality content we have to improve. Oil content quality you have to improve. Vitamin content, micronutrients and mineral contents you have to improve. The crops which are produced through plant breeding technique. Okay. So far we completed 3 main uses of plant breeding. Plant breeding for disease resistance, plant breeding for development of the resistance towards the insect and pest, plant breeding for improved quality of food. Okay, so this is about the plant breeding. For what is mutation breeding? Next topic is mutation breeding. Next topic is mutation breeding. Mutation breeding. So what is mutation? Mutation. Mutation. So mutation ante what is mutation? Mutations means changes. And simply we can say changes. Mutations is the process of which genetical variations are carried out. Mutation is the process in which genetical variations, mutation is the process in which genetical variations are carried out. Mutation is the process in which genetical variations are carried out by changing in the base sequence of genes. Genetical variations are carried out by changing the base sequence of genes. By changing base sequence of genes. By changing base sequence of genes. Okay. Mutation is the process which genetical variations are carried out by changing the base sequence of genes. As a result, we can produce a new character or trait which is not present in the parent one. So that is the mutation breeding technique. Genetical variations are carried out by changing the base sequence of genes. As a result, we can produce new character which is not present in the parent. Okay. Parent lo leni kotta character manita pondavachu. Okay na? Okay. So how we can carry out mutations? By using some artificial methods, we can induce the mutation. How you can create the mutations? We can induce the mutations. Some artificial methods are there by using some chemicals, by using some radiations, especially gamma radiations. By using gamma radiations, we can induce mutations. Induce means you can create the mutations. You can induce mutations by using gamma radiations, by using some chemicals. We have to induce the mutations. Okay, for example here they given. So, with the help of mutation breeding, especially one particular plant, mungu bean in pesari, mungu bean. In mungu bean plant, the plant develop resistance power towards the two diseases. One is yellow mosaic disease. Another one is white mildew disease. So with the help of mutation breeding, the mungu bean plant, mungu bean means green gram plant, mungu bean plant develop resistance power towards the two diseases. This plant develop the resistance power towards the yellow mosaic disease and also white mildew disease. So this is carried out through the mutation breeding only. The plants which are produced through the mutation breeding, they develop the resistance power towards the diseases. Okay, this is one example. Mutation breeding. Mutation breeding means mutation is a process in which genetical variations are carried out by changing the base sequence of genes. As a result, we can produce the new character or trait which is not present in the parent one. So we have to get the new characters which we can't see in the parents. So that type of the new characters we have to produce by this mutation breeding technique. Okay. So this is about the mutation breeding. So this is a complete information of the plant breeding. Okay. traditional breeding completed and mutation breeding completed. Next topic. Next topic, Nani. Small topic. Single cell protein. So what is the single cell protein? Which is important for 4 marks purpose. Very important. Very important for 4 marks purpose. This is the second method. This is okay. So complete total information we discussed about plant breeding. So plant breeding completed. Everything we discussed. Now coming to a new topic, single cell protein. Single cell protein. Single cell protein. In short form we call SCP. Very important topic. Single cell protein. So what is the single cell protein? Okay. So, but what is the need of these single cell proteins? In our country, we are following traditional agriculture method. The traditional agriculture products, cereals, means rice, wheat, maize, cereals, pulses, oil products. So these are all not meet to the demand of the population. Population is increasing, but the increased population is not get sufficient food items. Why? Because we are following traditional agriculture methods. The traditional agriculture products, cereals, pulses, oil products, these are not met to the demand of the increased population. So there is an alternate source to the human nutrition. And one more thing here, element, nearly more than 25% of the world population is suffering from hunger and malnutrition. Hunger and malnutrition. Hunger and malnutrition. Hunger and malnutrition. Okay. More than 25% of the world population suffering from hunger and malnutrition. Malnutrition means they are not getting proper nutritious food. Malnutrition, you know that protein malnutrition, calorie malnutrition, protein and calorie malnutrition. What are the diseases caused by the malnutrition? Kwashiorkor, marasmus, obesity, which you have learned in 10th class, first lesson, biology. Okay. So, one of the alternate source for the proteins is the single cell protein. So what is the alternate source for the protein is single cell protein. Okay. So, many microorganisms, especially algae and fungi and bacteria, algae, fungi and bacteria, these microorganisms that can produce single cell proteins. Many of the microorganisms, algae, fungi, bacteria that can use as production of single cell proteins. Especially the microorganisms which are being grown industrially for the production of proteins. Some of the microorganisms particularly being grown industrially for the production of proteins. So especially by using fungi, bacteria and algae, we have to produce the single cell proteins. Especially the microorganism spirulina. Especially the microorganism spirulina. One type of algae, spirulina, which can grow in different habitats. The microorganism spirulina especially grows on the sewage water. The microorganism spirulina that can grow sewage water and which can grow on dry grass. Okay, which can grow on molasses, which can grow on wastewater, which can grow on wastewater from potato processing units. Okay, these are all the sources of the spirulina. So spirulina that can grow in all these habitats. Some spirulina will grow in sewage water. Some spirulina will grow on dry grass. Some spirulina will grow on molasses, which is the product of the sugar extra product. Next, some spirulina will grow on wastewater. So they can produce, which is served as a food, which is rich amount of proteins. The spirulina which grow fastly, which serve as a food, which is rich in proteins. Best example, you know, mushrooms. Mushrooms are also used as a food. Mushrooms which contain more and more proteins. Mushrooms, edible mushrooms are there. Mushrooms nothing but fungi, which are also used as food, which contain more and more proteins. Okay, so by using these microorganisms, we have to produce single cell proteins, which are the alternative source of proteins. So many algae, so many fungi, so many bacteria, especially algae, spirulina, which can grow in different habitats, which is served as a food, which contain high amount of proteins. Let us, we have to calculate, for example, you should calculate, for example, 250 kg weight cow. For example, particularly one cow having 250 kg of weight, at per day, the 250 kg weight of the cow per day, it can produce just 200 grams of the protein. 200 grams of the protein. Whereas same 250 grams only, 250 grams of microorganism, 250 grams of microorganisms that can grow and that can give 25 tons of protein per day. 25 tons of protein per day. 25 tons of protein per day. Okay, same. Just 250 kg of the cow. The cow weight is 250 kg. Per day it can produce just 200 grams of proteins only. At the same time, the 250 grams of the microorganisms, 250 grams of the microorganisms, which can produce 25 tons of the proteins. 25 tons of the proteins. But what are the microorganisms? Okay. Methylo, the two microorganisms, Methylophilus and Methylotrophus. Methylophilus and Methylotrophus, these are the two microorganisms which can weight just 250 grams only, but they can produce 25 tons of protein per day. See how much difference is there. Just these are just microorganisms only, two. Okay, Methylophilus and Methylotrophus. But per day it can produce 25 tons of the protein. Okay, so this is the importance of the proteins. Sorry, what are the some examples? Finally, we have to complete within 2 minutes with examples. Some microorganisms are useful in the production of single cell proteins. But what is the algae? Name of the algae. But what is the algae used as production of single cell protein? But what is the fungi? And what is the bacteria? Name of the fungi. The fungi, spirulina. First one, the algae, spirulina, used as production of single cell protein, and chlorella. Okay, these two are used as production of single cell proteins. But what is the fungi? Example of the fungi, Candida and Saccharomyces. But what is the bacteria? Okay, Bravibacterium and Methylophilus and Methylotrophus. Okay, these are the bacteria which are used in production of single cell proteins. These are the fungi, these are the algae. So this is about the single cell production completed. Tomorrow class we have to discuss about the plant tissue culture. Thank you children.